You know, we hear that word entrepreneur thrown around all the time. It brings up these big images of tech geniuses, world-changing ideas, all that stuff. But what does it really mean to walk that path? Today, we're going to break down that whole journey of entrepreneurship, right from that first little spark of an idea to the massive impact it can have on all of us. So, let me ask you this. Ever wanted to be your own boss? It's a pretty simple question, right? But that feeling behind it, that desire for freedom to create something of your own, to be in control of your own destiny, well, that's the fuel for pretty much every startup and small business out there. It all kicks off right here, with that one feeling. So what's the actual DNA of an entrepreneur? Is it something you're just born with, or is it something you can build? Let's dive into our first section and get to the very heart of it, starting with that one all-important thing, the spark of an idea. Okay, so let's get the official kind of textbook definition out of the way. An entrepreneur isn't just a dreamer, not at all. They're more like an architect and a conductor all rolled into one. They spot an opportunity that everyone else just walks right past. They're willing to take a real risk, and they have this incredible skill of pulling all the pieces together, the money, the team, the plan, to make a vision become a reality. But honestly, let's push past the textbook for a second. At their absolute core, entrepreneurs are the world's great problem solvers. They see a glitch in the system, a process that's super frustrating, a service that doesn't exist, a real human need, and they get completely obsessed with fixing it. And by solving that puzzle, they don't just create a business, they create real value. They are, truly, the people who build what's next.
All right, so if you're thinking, hey, that sounds kind of like me, what do you actually need in your toolkit to make it happen? There's no magic formula for sure, but there are some absolutely essential tools for your mindset and your character that every single successful founder has to work on. So let's open up that toolbox and see what's inside.
And what's so interesting here is how all of these traits are completely connected. I mean, you can have this amazing vision, right? But without a burning passion to fuel you and the guts to be decisive, you're never even going to get started. And when you inevitably hit a wall, and you will, it's resilience that lets you pick yourself up and keep going. So this isn't just a list, it's like a whole operating system for the entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, so having the right mindset, absolutely critical. But, you know, a mindset alone doesn't build a company. Action does. So let's make that jump from the internal stuff of who an entrepreneur is to the external world of what they actually do day in and day out. Now, don't think of this as a simple checklist, like one and done. It's really more of a continuous cycle that just keeps spinning. It all starts with a plan, right? A roadmap. But that map is useless until you organize your resources, your money, your people, and from that second on, you are bearing all the risk. Every decision you make, every new idea you have, it all flows from that huge responsibility. And as soon as you finish one phase, guess what? You're already planning the next one. It literally never stops. But here's the thing. This whole journey is never just about one person's success. The impact of a single entrepreneur, one new business, can create these huge ripples that change an entire community, or sometimes even the whole world. So it's time to zoom out and really see the big picture.
Think about it this way. A new company is like planting a seed. Once it actually takes root, it starts to grow in every direction. It creates jobs for people in the community. Its growth helps the whole economy. Its ideas can spark innovations that launch brand new industries. And at the end of the day, all that growth helps improve the standard of living for everyone, building stronger communities.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Entrepreneurs are quite literally the backbone of our economy and society. They aren't just another piece of the puzzle, they're the essential piece that holds the entire structure together, making it stronger and helping it grow. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the romantic version of the entrepreneur, right? The one we see in movies. But the reality? Well, it's often a lot grittier and way more complicated than the stories we hear. So I think it's time for a much-needed reality check. Let's bust some of the biggest myths out there. First up, this idea that entrepreneurs are just born that way. The reality is, all those skills we've been talking about, leadership, managing money, planning, they can absolutely be learned. You get better through practice, through experience, and through just being willing to learn. And then there's this really big one that entrepreneurs are just reckless gamblers, throwing everything on the line. But that's not it at all. Successful entrepreneurs are masters of the calculated risk. They do their homework, they analyze, they plan, and they make smart choices to reduce the downside as much as possible.
How about the idea that you need a fancy degree or come from a certain family to make it? Nope, absolutely not. History is just filled with successful entrepreneurs from every single walk of life. The real entry requirements are a powerful idea and just a whole lot of grit and determination.
And finally, let's just get rid of the myth of the lone genius toiling away in a garage somewhere. Look, building anything significant is almost never a solo mission. Great entrepreneurs know that success is all about building an amazing team and working together. It really is a team sport.
Okay, so we've busted the myths. What does a career as your own boss really look like? It's not all glamorous headlines, and it's not all crushing failures either. It's a path with some unbelievable highs and some very, very real challenges. You gotta see both sides of the coin clearly.
And this, right here, this is the fundamental trade-off. On one hand, you get to be your own boss, but that comes with a very high risk of failure. You have the potential for unlimited income, but you have to deal with irregular paychecks, especially at the start. You get all the freedom and flexibility you want, but you often have to put in ridiculously long hours. And you get that incredible satisfaction of turning your passion into your job, but you have to carry the heavy weight of being responsible for everything. It's a balance that every single entrepreneur has to figure out for themselves.
So there you have it, the mindset, the actions, the impact, and the honest-to-goodness reality of the entrepreneurial journey. It's a tough path, for sure. It's full of risk and sacrifice, but it also holds this incredible potential to create